Good morning, Clinton. First, I'm going to show you Filebot quickly before I show you how to do the Plex Dance on one movie file. So this is some custom expressions I use in Filebot. This is my movie expression. N is name, Y is year, VF is video format, VC is video codec, AC is audio codec, and SUBT discovers the language of the subtitle. And then there's a similar expression for TV shows. Proper name, it grabs it from TVDB, the season and episode formatting. Geez, I can't remember what the T does right now. Video format, video codec, and subtitles. And I'm going to adjust this because I just changed a few things in my version of Filebot and I didn't update this. Okay, so these are the expressions you'd want to use, but the basic expression would be just this. All this is the extra information that Plex doesn't use for a database match to either the movie database here or the TV database here. So let's see it in action first before we do the Plex Dance. Like I said, I keep my movies in sort folders. So here's my main movie library folder, and here's a sort folder or sort subfolder. So I can use Filebot right in the server. If I back up one level, I can right click on just that folder, open in Filebot. Sorry, Filebot opened in the wrong window. And if I wanted to use the basic matching of Filebot, I would go to match, and this is where it's tricky. I ignore the movie database here because this is episode mode. I would use the movie database here in movie mode. So I simply click on it. Plex will go out and compare these files to the movie database. And we wait. Okay, so you see how it would rename how I have Dark Phoenix to the simplest form. And if we go down to Apocalypse, I already have it named that way, but I had this movie collected before I started Plex 2.5 years ago. To use my custom expressions, I would click on presets down here, and I would pick the custom expression I have set up. So now you'll see they're being renamed. If we highlight X-Men Apocalypse, remember in my post I said anything after the space dash space is ignored by Plex, and it's only used for your own informative purposes when you're looking at your files. So it discovers the 1080p part of the file, it discovers the codec for the video X264, and it tells me what type of audio codec is in that file. You'll see how this one has AAC audio, while this one has DTS. So it's pretty interesting from that way, but let's do the Plex Dance and then use Filebot on just the one movie. So if I go into this directory and I grab both the movie and the subtitle, right click, I'm going to get it right off the server. I'll copy it back to my computer. I use a Synology NAS, so that'll take a second. So then let's get back into Plex. So while I'm waiting, I wanted to point out that I have Plex set up to scan libraries automatically. And let's see where this is. I think it's under Manage. There's two library settings, but I think it's under Manage. Nope, it's not. It's under Settings. So I've checked Scan My Library automatically, run a partial scan when changes are detected. I don't include my music library in that. And I am not scanning my library periodically. And then the trash is automatically emptied after every scan. And I do not allow deletion from the Plex client window, only from the server. So a little bit to talk about here. If you're using USB drives, these can be dangerous settings because if you accidentally disconnect a USB drive, Plex will rescan and then you'll lose collections and that stuff. If you have physical hard drives that are plugged into a computer, or even better in RAID on a NAS, these are easy settings to have and they save you a bunch of work. So now that the file has copied off, I can go to my movie library, and there's two options. I can click these three little dots here, or I can click these three little dots. And while we're in collection mode, let's go down to X-Men. What year is Apocalypse? 2016. Oh, could it be I don't have that in a collection yet? Isn't that interesting? I missed one. Well, so that won't matter. We'll fix it on the back side. So again, I can go to movies with these three dots, or movies here, and scan my library files, which on my server happened automatically as soon as the server detected a file change. From here, I have to go to the three dots and choose Manage Library, and then Empty Trash. So now that that's done, I can go back into Settings, and I can go to Troubleshooting, and I can click Clean Bundles. Make yourself a cup of coffee if you've never done this, or a cup of tea, or grab yourself a Budweiser. So while this is going, we'll go back and fix the movie. So this is already named properly, but in your case, you would just change Apocalypse 2016 to X-Men Apocalypse 2016. I'm going to refresh things with Filebot, so I'll go to the folder it's in. I'll right click and choose Open in Filebot. I'll do my custom name. And you'll see that Filebot, because of my special expression, even automatically determines that it's an English subtitle. So now I'll click Rename. Oh, before I do that, note the colon here. No colon here, but there's a colon in the proper database name. When I hit Rename, Filebot picks up the illegal character, and by validating it, it'll remove it. Now I can continue. Two files renamed. If I go into the directory, you'll see they're all set, and it has that extra information past the space dash space. 1080p, X264, and it's a DTS. I may actually go out and look for a new version of this movie to replace that DTS, but you know, that's for another day. And it also got the language code of the subtitle. Excuse me. Now what Filebot can't do is determine which subtitle it actually is, because there are default subtitles, there are SDH subtitles for the hearing impaired, and there are also forced subtitles. So I'm going to do that now. And what I'm looking for is extra information in brackets or parentheses that will clue a hearing impaired individual into extra information in the scene. So this doesn't look like it's that type of subtitle. This is just the default one, so I can leave the naming alone. If it was a SDH subtitle, I'd simply manually adjust it with SDH. If it was a forced subtitle, which only had subtitles for foreign language parts, you'd name it like this: eng.force.srt. But I can leave it by itself. So as you can see, we're still cleaning and spinning the bundles here. So until that's done, I can't move it back to the server. Maybe 2 cups of coffee. Let's see, what else can I talk about that's pertinent while we wait? I could grab a audio file out of my server and play Simon & Garfunkel's The Sound of Silence. Let's see, other cool things or cool tools for your server. I could right click on this and open it with MKVtoolnix. Well, we can talk about subtitles more. This file actually had the English subtitle already included, so I don't need the external one. I didn't realize this because this was a file I had grabbed before I started Plex 2.5 years ago. So let me move that subtitle to the trash. So MKVtoolnix is a great tool to use. You can join or split videos, but it's handy to fix mislabeled subtitles or to remove extra ones. If this video file had 20 other subtitles besides the English one, you could simply uncheck the ones you don't need and go down to the bottom and click Start Multiplexing, which it's non-destructive to the original file. I'll do that. And as the progress happens, it writes a new file. Also, if you have problems with a subtitle, it may not be flagged correctly. That happens sometimes with a forced subtitle. You may see 2 subtitle files here, or even 3. One for the default subtitle, one for the hearing impaired, and one for the forced. And every once in a while, the forced one might not have the forced flag set to yes. Alright, so this is done. Let's close this out and let's refresh this. Well, new install, and I'm not sure what's going on here. First time I've used MKVtoolnix on this install. Where's my output going? Should just be going where I want it. Oh, I removed the audio. I didn't want to do that. Oh, I see what I'm doing. It's a little mental block here. I deleted the subtitles, so I expected 2 files. So this is the version of the movie that has the subtitle still in it. And if we double click on it, it's opening up in the wrong window, and I had to pause it so there's no copyright strikes. If I go to VLC, I can see the subtitle in the original file. If I start the modified one, you can see there's no subtitle. Excuse me again. So MKVtoolnix is a very handy utility for your Plex server for subtitles, but it can also take 2 different parts of a movie. If you happen to acquire a movie or a video for a TV show or whatever that comes in 2 parts for the whole episode of the whole movie, you can join them with MKVtoolnix or you can simply name them properly per Plex's naming convention. Either way works. And then you can also split MKVs or MP4s with it. It's not always precise, sometimes it's off a second or two, but if there's a big enough break between TV show episodes, if you're ripping your own DVDs or Blu-rays, it usually works out fine. But it's not automatic. You have to go through and watch and see where the breaks are, write them down, and then put the markers in. I think I've got a video on that too. And see, this is still spinning. Let's take our modified one and see if I can remember this. So if I wanted to split this up, I would choose after, it's either after specific timestamps or by parts. We'll try both. And let's say we're going to trim out a minute. It would be 00 for the hours, 01 for the first minute, and let's do 30 seconds. And then I can do a comma, and let's do this one at 00. Let's do 60 minutes and 5 seconds. Let's see if this works. Okay, so I threw some errors. That's not right. One error down here. Let's do it after parts based on timestamps. Maybe it's my space here. It's one of these or the other. That's still an error. Maybe I had it right the first time. Nope, I'm not too helpful in this area today. I always have to look this up before I do it. And I'm probably still spinning back there with my cleaning of the bundles. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. Here we go. I had something wrong with the time format. And we're still cleaning the bundles. So it's after specific timestamps, and you just got to get this right in the right formula. Once you're ripping a Blu-ray or a DVD for something like kids' TV shows, which sometimes has 2 or 3 episodes in one file, once you do this a couple times, it becomes old hat. And then when you have to do it again, you just quickly relearn what you got to do, and you do it one more time. Okay, so it's complete. And now you'll see that the original file is broken up into 3. And you'll see this one is an hour and 1 minute long and 33 seconds. Right. And this one is 1 minute and 33 seconds long.
Yes, please stand on.
And this one is an hour, 20 minutes. So that's how you can break up. I won't try to show you how to join them because I'd have to do a little refresher course myself. Well, I think I'm going to end this screen recording and jump back in when this finishes, because I don't know what else to talk about, and I don't know how long this is going to take. So I'll end this and pick it back up. Okay, picking back up with Clinton's video. The cleaning of the bundles has now completed. So let me go back to my main home window so I can see recently added movies. And let's minimize the Plex expressions or the Filebot expressions. They were on the window long enough to copy down from earlier. So these are the ones I've split and done goofy things with. I don't need those any longer. I just need to copy this back to the server. So I'll cut it. I'll go to my X-Men folder. I'll paste it back in. And because of my automatic scanning settings in Plex, Plex will scan automatically and find the movie. We'll add it to the collection. And maybe if we get lucky, because of that issue with the colon being in the proper name at the movie database, I'll need to fix match it anyway. I find that's like 40% of the time I have to fix match something with a colon in it. And more often than not, in my TV show library and not in the movie library. And I use the naming convention from the TV database and not the movie database for my TV show library. Basically, you don't put the year in the proper show title unless it's in the database. In the movie database, it always has the year. And you would adjust your agents for each one. Okay, so full screen. The scanning started automatically, but on your end, you would just go to the library and choose a manual scan. And Plex found it automatically. So now I would just edit it, go to the tags, and actually it already knows it belongs in the X-Men collection because that's how it's listed at the movie database. Let me show that for a second. That's why proper file naming is important. Let's do a new window and not bring up my existing tabs. So if we go to the database and we do X-Men and just search, we'll see all the options. We'll pick up Apocalypse. So if you were manually renaming the movie, you could just do this, right click and copy, hit Control C and copy, and when you paste it in your file name, you would simply edit out the colon. But if we go down someplace, it'll list the collections. View the collection. So with the right settings with Plex, these collections are created automatically. So even if you removed a movie and put it back in, Plex is going to know what to do with it. What it won't know what to do with is collections you've made independently of the database ones, like I have. Like I've got a zombie collection. If I had to Plex Dance one of these titles, well, I really wouldn't, because if I had to use Plex Dance in the first place, it wouldn't have made it this far to be in a collection, right? But you'll see that by playing with a one video file, getting it named properly, getting it found properly, it didn't mess up any of my 300 existing collections. So that's it, Clinton. Hopefully there's enough info here. I know it's long, and sorry I didn't think about ending the video at first when the bundles were taking so long to clean. Hope this solves your problem, and happy Plexing.